Rabbi's looking at me funny because I'm showing up myself.
What's he doing there? Yeah.
Well, good thing I have lots of late. We'll stop that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those chickens back there sitting in the back.
Yeah.
Is this everyone?
No, but they're making their way up, so get started.
Go ahead and start. Okay. First of all, I'd like to start with a word of prayer. So, Aharon, could you please?
Okay.
Do you want the lapel?
Sure. Heavenly Father, once again we come before you and just bless you and thank you for your goodness to us and for the opportunity this day to learn your holy language and to be able to better understand your word in the original language that you put it forth in. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for all those that are gathered here and that are eager to learn, Abba. What a blessing to those who want to draw closer to you in knowing your language better. May you help each of us to grasp it and to understand and to grow. Those who know a little, those who know more than others, Abba, that we each just grow together and are able to glorify you and your name and your word through this class. May your blessings and your anointing be upon Ashira and just strengthen her to walk in your ultimate and satisfying will. And it's in this name of your Son, Yeshua, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. So with this Hebrew class, we have lots of, we have adults, we have children, we have lots of different ranges. We have some people that have never seen the Hebrew letter before, and we have some people that have seen the Hebrew letter, can speak the Hebrew letter, and whatnot. So I've made this class where everybody can challenge themselves. And what you put into the lessons that are given is what you'll get out of the lessons that are given. I understand that as adults we get busy with our day-to-day life, and sometimes we don't have as much time to study one week versus another week. So this, you can self-pace yourself, and you're only competing against yourself. And whatever your goals are, I pray that you reach it. Our goal, or here at Beit Shalom Emet, is that you can read the Hebrew and write the Hebrew. And with the Hebrew, it's a good, awesome language because you can read and write Hebrew without having knowledge, any knowledge of the Hebrew language. Where like English, you have to have knowledge of what's that word. It comes from different areas of the world, so sometimes if it's spelled this way, but it's a French word, so you pronounce it this way, or if it's an English word, you pronounce it another way or whatnot. Here, we go by the Sephardic pronunciations. So in this class, because we're learning to speak, to be able to read up here at the Bima, and we go by the Messianic Shabbat Siddur, and so to be able to read the Hebrew out of here, so we're all on one page, we will be teaching and learning pronunciations and lettering according to the Sephardic. I understand, like, you have Ulpan Hebrew, which is the modern day Hebrew, and they have, Hebrew is kind of like a melting pot, like here in Pennsylvania, that you have people from different places that they have come from all over the world. So Israel has people from all over the world. So like the Spanish, they roll their letters. Hebrew is a guttural letter. And so we're just going to be doing what the book teaches. We'll stick with that because it goes with our Siddur. So in here, we're just going to go with this. Outside of class, it's up to you. But I do know that the Hebrew words, the change of a vowel marking, even just one little nakud, can change the whole meaning of the word. So it is important to know the Hebrew, how to say the Hebrew correctly in order to get the meaning out correctly. Otherwise, you could be saying something you have no idea about. We might not want to do that, okay? Aharon, can you raise your hand if you need a book? If you've purchased your book, he'll hand them out to you. Hey, Ada, would you like to pass out some paperwork too? I was going to get some other helpers too. Micah, would you like the Hebrew letters? Yeah. Yeah, pass them all out. Would you like to pass out some papers too, please? Noah, would you like to pass out some papers? No? Okay. Bill, if you want to grab a pile. Yeah, that last one. Hey, Hein, why don't you give one pile to the other one?
Give one to
Bill.
There you go, Bill.
Right there. Pass that out. No, that's trash.
I still use this today. It's very cheap.
I'll take a copy too. Okay, so they're passing out some handouts, and on the handouts, they'll come in handy as you go along your way of learning Hebrew. While they're passing them out, I'll also share with you some other ideas that you can use. Like when my children were growing up, make sure you have a notebook that you can put your Hebrew in, so then that way when you come back and forth to class, you know where your Hebrew stuff is. That'll be a blessing if you have keep all your supplies in one spot for class. You'll need a pencil or a pen for class, whichever one you prefer, you're comfortable with. Can I have a copy?
How many total handouts we supposed
5.
to have? 5?
How many do you have, Rabbi?
4.
8 is coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did I get a copy? Thank you.
Micah, do you need one? Do you need one?
Thank you so much. Can I take a copy? Fine. Yes. Yeah, make sure he gets a copy.
Ada, does your family all have books? Okay.
No. Okay, everybody has everything? All right, what I've given out is I've given out lined paper. And where I got this lined paper from, when I was taking Hebrew class at Baltimore Hebrew University, they had suggested to get lined paper to help you write your letters. If you go online, you can purchase a nice little notebook if you'd like and get lined paper, or you could get, if you have simple lined paper, like children's lined paper, you could use that. Or you can just use a regular notebook. Whatever you feel comfortable, you get what you need to help you in that writing process. Also, another idea for writing or for learning the letters. Now, I understand this is a children's book, but as adults, as a human, we all have different learning styles. Some people learn visually, some people learn hands-on, textures, colors. There's lots of different ways that we all learn. So you can set up, you can make letters any way you want. You can work as a group, invite friends over, have a craft night, whatever you'd like to do, just different ways to get to learn your Hebrew alphabet. You can create a box with a black bottom and put some sand in there and draw letters. However, whatever tools you need, go ahead and make them. Have fun with them. Decorate your house with them. Yes, Bill?
There's a song that they teach Hebrew children, and it's all of the first 5 months of the month. Can you get a copy of that somewhere?
I don't have a copy, but you can look online.
It's right there.
Maybe. But you can check it out. I find a lot of things online. Also, don't forget to reward yourself. You can get yourself stickers, or I can give you some stickers, but reward yourself, Celebrate the small things, You learn a letter, have a happy dance, Also, I have given you practice sheets. Well, first of all, I've given you papers. They're the Handy Hebrew Writing Guide. And I've given it to you in block and in script. Because when you go over to Israel, not if, when you go over to Israel, you will see signs, and they will be in both block and print. So there's 3 different ways that we will be learning the Hebrew as we go along. And again, it's up to you to invest the time to get to learn it, because you can choose to just focus on one, then the other. I will tell you that does not work out too well. Learn all 3 at the same time. If you're learning the Aleph, learn the Aleph in all 3, block, script, and print form, because print forms are different, plus they have different fonts. Check them out. Whatever you do, just keep learning on that. You start with one letter and move on to the next letter. Also, there are vowel markings. Patak, Kametz, Kirik, Seri, we'll learn them as we go along. So there's practice sheets, Hebrew vowel practice sheet, and you have your Hebrew Aleph practice sheet. So on the Aleph practice sheet here, we have the sound, the block, the script, and we have the value, because Hebrew is not just one-dimensional. Hebrew has many different dimensions. It has pictures, it has words, it has letters. So we're going to be learning a little bit about all of that, okay? And then I've given you the handy Hebrew alphabet, where it has all your alphabets and your vowel markings. And I will tell you, if you know the name of your letter, you know the sound. So get to know the names. Same with the vowel markings. You know the name of the vowel, you know the sound of the vowel, because it makes that sound in it. So we will be learning this as we go through. All right. Also, here's another thing. You can get on this online as well. They're Hebrew alphabet stickers. They're really cute. So as you learn that sticker, you can put it wherever it is you choose to put your stickers and put your Hebrew alphabets on there. Something to be proud of, and also it'll help solidify your learning process. So the books that we will be using in class will be Teach Yourself to Read Hebrew, and so you guys have that copy, and we will also be learning out of the Messianic Shabbat Siddur. So when we're done, you will be able to say some prayers out of here as well, okay? All right, I also have some PowerPoints that we'll be bringing up as we go along the way. So differences between English and Hebrew is that we know that when we open the book, we read the English from left to right. Everything's left to right. So if you're righty, it does very well. If you're a left-hander, not so well. You kind of smear your ink as you go along the way. But Hebrew, you're in luck if you're a lefty, because we read from right to left. And so you're not smearing. But now all us right-handers are smearing our work. So be careful when you write if you're a right-hander. There's a lefty. All right. The Hebrew letters there are only 22 Hebrew letters. That's all you gotta learn. Of course, with all the capital letters, or no, Hebrew does not have capital letters. English letters, there are 26 letters. They also have 26 capital letters, 26 lowercase letters, as well as vowels, and with the vowels and consonants. Where the Hebrew, it's only 22 letters, all consonants, and then you have your vowel markings that can either appear at the top, or it can appear at the bottom of the letter, or it can appear at the side, or it can even appear on the next consonant. So we will be learning where the vowel markings are in the words. Okay, as well as you have in English, you have your print and your script. In Hebrew, you have your print and script, but Hebrew also has 5 Hebrew letters have endings. Their ending letter looks different than their regular letter, whether it be at the beginning or in the middle of the word. In English, like I said before, in English you need to know what the English word is in order to read it. You can sound it out the best you can, but once you oh, that word is this, then you have a better understanding. You can read that word better. In Hebrew, you can read it without having knowledge of what it is. I did pretty good. I think I covered all my notes here. Now the real class begins. That was just the overview. Now the real class begins. Let's see here. Of course, with every language, there are exceptions to certain rules, right? How many exceptions do we have in the English language? A lot. Well, glad to say that there aren't so many in Hebrew, not as many. Well, I know when I had taken the Hebrew class the first time, they're like, there's no exceptions, you don't have to worry about that. But then we'd come along and it's like, oh, this says call, but no, that's cold. Wait, you said there was no exceptions. So I won't deceive you like that. There are some exceptions, so we will be learning them along the way. Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and start with our Hebrew, read Hebrew, and we can turn to page 4 in our Hebrew book. And as you can see up at the board, or up on the screen, we have 3 Hebrew letters. These are not the first 3 Hebrew letters in the alphabet. So it's not Aleph, Bet, Veit. So this is Beit, Shin, and Tav. This is where we're going to start the lesson. So you will learn 3 Hebrew letters and 1 Hebrew vowel sound, and by the end of this lesson, you will be able to read an important word in Hebrew. And it's one that you all know already, and one you could probably guess by looking at the letters. But here we have Beit is the very first word, and you see how it's spelled out? Well, for those of you that don't know Hebrew, it starts off with a beit, and we know it's a beit because it has a dagash, what they call a dagash in the center. Because if we took that dagash out of the beit, it would be then called a veit. So what sound do you think beit has? Very good, the b sound, b sound. And then we have a yod. What sound do you think the yod makes? Yeah, like a y, yeah. But sometimes we don't sound it out. Sometimes it prolongs it, or you really do kind of sound it out, but we'll get there. Anyways, and then the last one is our tav. And our tav is what sound? Very good, our T sound. Okay, and as I was saying that the Hebrew Hebrew words have dots like dagash, and the vowels at the bottom here, as we look, also, I want to tell you about your book. If you cannot find your handy Hebrew alphabet paper that I gave you, in the back of your book, you have a smaller one. Okay? So then that way it's always with you in your book. But I gave you the paper only because this way you don't have to rip it out of your book. It's always nice to keep your book together. And as far as your homework assignments that will be given, I do not collect homework. It's up to you. Like I said, if you want to put into it, you'll get out what you put into it. But all the answers are in your book. So you don't need to come and have me check it. You can check it yourself, which is good because as you're learning, you need to learn right away if you're doing your exercise when you made a mistake. Kind of like I remember when I learned how to type. My fingers know as soon as I make a mistake, I go back and correct it right away because it's better to correct it as you're going instead of waiting to the end and proofing everything and having to go back and retype the whole thing all over again. But with computers, it's not as bad as the typewriter was when I learned. All right, so let's just take a look at the book for a little bit first. In the book, in each lesson, you will be introduced to a letter, and then it'll give information about that letter. And then it'll also give you different lessons for those letters. It'll give you your vowel markings, new vowel markings for each lesson, and then you will have practice pages of learning to say those lessons. So we will be going over some of the sounds and practicing our reading out loud together. And then you have exercises, and like I said, the exercises are in the back. All right, so in your Teach Yourself to Read Hebrew book, there are 10 lessons that introduce each letter, how to write them in block, print, as well as it teaches you how to read each combination of vowels and consonants, and how the letter is pronounced differently when it does not have a dagesh dot in it. Of course, with every language, there are exceptions to the rules, so I'm just recapping here. So if you look at page 9, the yod on page 9, example number 2 there, it has a bait with your vowel marking, and that vowel marking is your chirik. So when I say a chirik, what sound do you think it makes? Just thinking of the vowel, chirik, E. It has that E sound, so chirik. And then when you put the yod behind that chirik, it makes it E, so it prolongs it. Let's see here. Oh, slide number 4. Can you do slide number 4? So here we have a picture of our chirik, and this is another idea when you're at home, things to help you learn. I added the B, because B, it prolongs the E sound, so when you see that with the yod, you see it prolongs it. And any of these PowerPoints, if you wish to have a copy of it, just let me know and I can print them out for you. Yes?
So, I'm kind of confused. If I look at this block sheet, there's like, if I look at the top, I mean, there's really like 3 sounds in that letter. So, but if I look at the page 4, I see that same symbol, but it's just a
Which one are you looking at?
page 4.
No, on here. You're saying what? Go by whichever one helps you. Okay, so on these,
But I don't, so how do I know, I mean, why is it just total?
these are not sounds on here. This is telling you how to write the letters. There's no sounds on here.
But it says top.
Yeah, that's the name. That's its name.
So the letter has a name, but it's not its sound.
But if you know the name, you know the sound. Tav,
Well, why is it not top?
because it begins with a T.
So whatever it begins with is.
It worked out in English that way, yes.
Sorry.
No, no problem. Yeah, but on this paper is just to show you how to write it, and it's telling you its name as well. So then that way you know it is the same letter as the book. Okay? So on page 9, the yod prolonging the E sound as in B. The letter Vav is pronounced as the consonant. Where is that? Okay, so the letter Vav is pronounced as a consonant V, and the dot above a Vav is pronounced as a long O sound. That's on page 88. Let's go to page 88. So the word mitzvot, are you there on page 88? This second paragraph, where it says the word mitzvot. Mitzvot, it means what in English? For those who already know it. Huh? It means commandments. That's right. It's a mitzvot, a commandment. So in the word mitzvot, we have a vav. We haven't learned that one yet, but some of you already know it, and it has the dot on top of it. That makes it pronounce a long O sound. And then, let's see, where's the U? Okay, so the next word down below that, zivanu, as in vitzivanu. That word, that last letter is a vav at the end of that word, and it has a dagesh in the center, so that gives it the sound of oo. And it looks confusing because there is a vowel under the vav as well in that word. That second vav has a dagesh in it, and it has a vowel marking. So whenever you have a dagesh in a letter with a vowel marking, you're going to go to the vowels. So when we continue along with the lessons, we will be revisiting this. So if you don't understand it, it's okay, because you plant little seeds, and then as we come back, and you're like, ah, now I remember. Okay? All right, so the following rules found in chapter 2. Let's go to page 10 in chapter 2. I'm just showing you the different items that are in our book. So there are 3 Hebrew letters are pronounced differently when they have a dagesh in them. So on here, our bait, I had already told you that bait, when you take out the dagesh, it becomes a bait. We'll continue forward from that. I was sitting in jury duty while taking notes on this, and I think that's where we had a break in class, or to listen to the judge. Anyways, so when the hey is at the end of a word, it is silent, just as air is escaping. So let's turn to page 23. So to show you, like, for examples on page 23, every chapter has learning hints and suggestions. So we'll be looking for that. So when you're at home and say you want to work ahead or you want to read ahead to see what's coming up in class, you can read those learning hints and suggestions. And on this one here, it's talking about the hay and how air escapes. And on number 4, It says a good way to remember the difference between a hey and a chet is that one has a little escape vowel, so you can breathe, where a chet stays together, and it blocks up the air, and you can't do anything but go. Kind of like the word Hanukkah, the celebration we just celebrated. When my children were younger, they had this cartoon called Rugrats, and it was on TV all the time. Kind of like, I don't know what the newer ones are now, but Rugrats was really good. And there was this little blonde-headed girl. She was correcting her cousin because he's like the meaning of Hanukkah. And she's like, it's not Hanukkah. You gotta when you say it, it's Hanukkah. So it's cute when you have something to associate to help you with pronunciations of letters. And always remember that to keep in mind that Hebrew is written from right to left. And also, it's written top to bottom. So you have your consonant, and then the next way of reading is that you would go down. Let me see if I have. Go to 19, Dan. Thank you. I'm sorry. Can we go to 24? That one looks better. Perfect. Okay, so here we have 3 different letter combinations. The first one, since we're reading right to left, we're going to start to our right. So we have our tav, and we have the patak, and another tav. So we would start that reading with our consonant, then we would go below it with our vowel, and then we would go next to it with our other consonant. So it's top, bottom, and then to the next, to the left. And then on the middle word, we have deed. We have dalet with our kirik, a yod and a dalet. So even though there's a dagesh in that dalet, we don't sound that out. We would just sound out the vowel underneath it. And then looking at the next letter, would you sound out the yod, or does that prolong the vowel marking? So that's one of those lessons of we know that that prolongs that vowel marking. So even though it has 3 consonants in the word, technically it's 2 consonants and 1 vowel. Okay? With a kirik, the single dot is a kirik, the vowel marking underneath the dagesh. Because it helps prolong it. It's one of those lessons that are told in our lesson book. Okay?
I'm sorry, that was a stupid comment. I thought when we say the alphabet, we don't say our letters have names.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Thought of it for a while. I was thinking of the way to read the letters was that you'd apply a different part of the name, the sound of the name, but it's really just the vowels. I'm sorry, that's stupid.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. No. Yeah, because we're on the other letter, on the vowel markings, you're listening for the vowels, and the vowels don't normally start unless if it's like in, no, I don't have an example of that. No, you're listening for the vowel marking, the names of the vowels, and for the Hebrew letters. Except for Aleph. Aleph is a silent letter along with Ayin. So another good game that you can play at home that I loved playing with my children is we played the Aleph and the Ayin game because they can shout it as loud as they want. You get it? Because it's a silent letter. So we would also have who can say the Aleph as the longest. That was a tired parent. Okay, let's go back to page 5. All right, so when a Hebrew vowel is written underneath, the Hebrew consonant pronounced is the first consonant and then the vowel. So we always read Hebrew from right to left, and here they have the letter shown in your book, Sheen, plus the Kamates. Now the difference between the Kamates and the Patak is that little line that has it underneath. Let me see which. Do you see the vowel markings, Dan? Oh, here. Go to 2. Slide 2, Dan. My comments disappeared on that one. Okay, I apologize, my comments disappeared on that one, but I still have the word comments, and it's spelled in Hebrew. Can you guys see that okay, the comments? Spelled in the Hebrew, it's tiny on there. Ah, thank you, Dan. So it looks like a little tiny T underneath the Hebrew letter, okay? And so the difference between the Kamates, that looks like a little T, and the Patak, that looks like a little line, it's the difference between Pa'al, Piel, Hifel, which are different vowel combinations that go into vocabulary and into the tense of verbs, which we will not be teaching in this class. Yeah?
Do they have the concept of long and short?
Well, yes, as I showed you in the E, the kirik with the yod, it's a long E sound. Or just with the kirik, it's a shorter E sound. Yes, Ms. Cheryl?
Could you clearly show the difference between how to pronounce the pata and the kamet?
That's what I'm showing you right now.
Okay, because I'm not hearing it.
There is no different in sound.
There's no difference in the sound?
Nope. The only
Why do they
difference,
have to have two different markings?
the only difference is for verbiage. So for your tenses in verbs. So it would be, yes,
Okay.
which we will not, because like you can have pa'al, pial, which are the different verb tenses. And so one would be, I talk to you. The next one would be, I talked to you.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I'm talking to you like that, I apologize. Okay.
Trust me, that's the only time I can hear you. Your ears are way through the roof.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've got the volume cranked up as loud as it would go, so.
Even with this?
Even with that.
Wow. Okay, I will try to keep talking louder. How's that? You're welcome. Okay, so again, kamates is just with, it looks like a T, and patak is with just one line. And when you are writing using vowels, they are important because, again, it's because of the verb tense and usage. Okay, so it's over in Israel, you will have some words that have vowel markings, but you'll have a lot of signs or newspapers with no vowel markings. So it's a good thing I'm teaching you with vowel markings because it's easier to have your training wheels on first before someone comes and takes them away. But that will happen, and at first you freak out, but then you know, just like riding a bike, then you get to where you can read the Hebrew without vowel markings. However, just like anything, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So it's very good to have a partner with studying or talking or reading, or even just coming to services and participating behind the bima once you're a member and reading the Hebrew. And that it's a blessing to be able to have that honor to stand up and read God's word for people to hear. So hopefully you guys will be heading towards that. All right, so let's see if you can read the following combinations of letters and vowels that are introduced in this lesson. So far, we have 2 vowels that we've learned. We've learned the kamates and we've learned the patak. but it's only one sound. Okay, so this should be pretty simple because we only have 3 letters on here. We have the bait, the sheen, and the tav. And on the bait, like I told you before, they also have numerical values and they also have picture values. So on the bait is actually a number 2. Why is it a number 2? Can someone answer that for me? Why is bait a number 2? Yes? Very good. Bait is number 2 only because it is the second letter of the Aleph bait. I'm looking for my notebook. Oh. What picture do you think bait would make? If you were to think of bait as a picture, does anybody know what picture? Very good, Bill. Bait is a house. A little more, still more? Okay. Okay, so bait is 2, and bait is also a tent, a house, household. It also means into, and family, okay? So those are just some things to know about the bait. On the sheen, what do you think the sheen represents in picture form? You would think, right? Any of those, a crown, king, Yeshua? No. The sheen is actually teeth, and it's to consume or destroy. And the value of sheen is 300. And then we have our tav, which is the last letter of the Hebrew Aleph bait. Looking at tav, what do you think? What picture is that? Deb?
It's a sign or a cross.
It's a sign to seal or to covenant. And its value is 400. Okay, so with that, we're going to just do a couple of lines together of reading the letters. We're going to do the first 3 of lines 1 through 6. Okay, so, on page 5, yes. On page 5, we're going to do the first 3 letters, 1 through 6, and we're going to read them together, okay? Because right now, you have training wheels on, but they will come off eventually, okay? All right, so we're going to say them together. B, ba, ba. Line 2. Remember, only the first 3 letters, okay? Because we have a lot more to go through here. All right, 2. Shh. Did you hear that? Shh. That's all we say. We're not adding any vowel markings to that, no slurs to that. It's just the letter. Shh. And then the next one, sha, shh. Okay? Now on line 3, we have t, ta, ta. Okay, number 4, ta, sha, ba. 5, we have ta, tot, bob. Okay? So even though on number 5 we have 2 consonants and 1 vowel, it's all said together. Because when you look at a word, count how many vowel markings you have. That will tell you how many syllables you have in the word. Okay, so in this case, we have 1 vowel marking and 2 consonants. So in this would just be 1 syllable. So again, let's do line 5. We have ta, tot, bob. Okay? And number 6, we have bosh, bot, tosh. Okay, let's say that again, and this time you guys be a little louder because I can't hear you, okay? All right.
Wait, you said, I'm sorry,
No. However many vowel markings you have, how many vowels, that's how many syllables the word is. Okay. Did you? Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. Okay, so you guys ready? Loud and clear. We have Bosh, Bot, Tosh. Okay, very good. All right, on page 6 now. So they're going over how to write the Hebrew letters. I won't go over that right now in class because I gave you, or I won't be writing it or showing pictures of it because I gave you the handy-dandy Hebrew writing papers. So on your papers, it tells you it has a 1 drawn and a 2 drawn and how to write it out. It even has lines like I had given you. It's just 1 line where you write on the bottom. If you're going to use regular notebook paper, the top of the letter would be at the top. Now you will have some Hebrew letters that will go above the top, especially in the script. We have the final pay. It'll go higher and the final tzadi will go above the line that will be drawn. But go ahead and practice it and just follow the papers on how to do that, okay? Because in the book it doesn't tell you 1, 2, 3 which steps to do, but on the papers it does. All right, so then we have some exercises down on page 6 for 1, 2, 3, 4, on page 7, 3, 4, 5. You can go ahead and do that. And looking at the bottom on page 7, line 8, I'm sorry, question? Pat, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did. On the writing, do you want us to do script and block?
Well, I had explained earlier,
Sorry.
no problem, that in this class you get into it what you put out of it. And it's easier to learn all of them all at once than it is to learn block, script, print. So as you go and do your writing assignments, do all of them at once. Now granted, you can't do the typed one, but we're going to be reading the typed one in our books, so that'll help us with the type. But I highly suggest block and print, block and script, practice it all at the same time. And that'll just help you out. You're welcome. I do not collect the homework, so the homework's on you. But if you want me to look at your homework, you like the Hebrew letters to help you out, I can do that. Or if you think you're saying it one way and it might not be and you need help, we can definitely work on that. Okay, now let's go to lesson 2 because we're going to do lesson 1 and 2 for today. We still have time. Okay, so lesson 2, we have only 4 new letters. Dan, I ran out of battery, so I don't know where the new letters are. Okay, so there we have the letters and we have the letter names. So we have Aleph, and I know I've already given this answer out, but what sound does Aleph make? Everybody say it real loud and clear on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. It's silent. It was a trick question. Aleph is silent. There's
You didn't say Aleph, you said Aleph.
no Aleph. Aleph. Sorry, I have to speak louder. Okay, so, but you would have been correct had I said Dalet, okay? Duh. Okay, but Aleph. And then the second letter that they show, we were actually given that on lesson 1, is our Beit. Yeah, Beit. I have to look at the vowel markings. I'm not very good with the Hebrew translit. When I see the vowel markings or how it's written in the Hebrew, I know that those 2 dots together, that it makes the A sound because its name is Zereh. So that makes the A sound. So Beit, B. And the next one is vate, and that makes the what sound? Very good. V, V. And then we have the gimal, gimal, g, g sound, gimal, g. And then we have the dalet, d, dalet. So if you practice saying the names of the letters, then you will also, again, reiterate to yourself d, dalet, the sound of the letter. However, aleph and ayin, again, are the only two letters that say nothing. Yes?
So what is a dagesh? Can you explain that?
A dagesh?
Are there other things like that?
We will.
Is it in the book?
Yes, we will in the lesson. You're welcome. All right, so in the first lesson, you were introduced to the 3 Hebrew consonants and 1 Hebrew vowel sound. So you had also learned to read combinations of vowels and consonants. In this lesson, we will begin to teach you the letters of the Hebrew alphabet in alphabetical order. So now we're going to be going in alphabetical order, so it'll help you with understanding the numerical value. However, looking at the screen up top, so if aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, what number is that? 1. Very good. Aleph is 1. Then we have bait. What number is that? 2. So we take away the dagesh and we have a vate. What number is that? It's still 2. Why is it still 2? Because it's the same letter, just without a dagesh. The only thing that changes is its sound. Okay, then we have gimel. Gimal. What number is that? 3. And then we have dalet, which is 4. Very good. All right, so the letters shown below are the first letters of the Hebrew alphabet. So you have already learned the letter bait in the first lesson. This letter is pronounced differently when it does not have the dot in it. So again, at the bottom of page 8, it goes over the sounds of the letters. So if you ever have questions about that again and you forget that the name is its sound, it'll tell you here. Aleph is a silent letter. Bait is B as in boy. Vate is V as in vine. Gemel is G as in girl. Dalet is D as in door. So in many examples in this book, Hebrew letter and vowel combinations are shown with English words that have the same sound. This will make it easier for you to check your pronunciation of Hebrew letters and vowels as you learn them. For example, the words below, shown on page 9, show you how to pronounce the letter Aleph. The letter Aleph is a silent letter, and when it appears with a vowel under it, simply pronounce the vowel, which appears without, when it appears without a vowel, do not pronounce it at all. So going again from right to left, we're on page 9, the first Hebrew letter combination at the top. Would you guys like to take turns and individually answer, or do you want to continue doing it together? Huh? Odd. Okay, so we'll say it together. Odd. Very good. And if you want to do it, I'll let you do it first. So the next word combination? Sha. So it's just sha. Because we have sh, ah. Sha. So we have odd and sha.
Why is it there?
What do you mean? Why is what where?
Why is it even there? Because the SH with the T in it already says sha.
Because later on down the road, when you start learning vocabulary, there are certain words have 3-letter root numbers, and it goes into the numerical system, and so there's different reasons behind it. So it could be because it could be part of the root, and it would be there adding beginning and endings, I guess in English, what suffix and prefixes and stuff that when you start building upon it, you still have your 3 root, so it could be part of the root. In this case here, it's just showing you an example that you still do not sound it out. Okay? So there's always a reason, but however, just because there's always a reason does not mean we always know what that reason is. So some things will come back to us. When the Messiah returns, we can have our list of questions ready for him. All right, so let's see here. So then we have our kirik, and then we have the kirik with the yod behind it, and we know that the kirik is the long E sound, and with the yod behind it, it just prolongs it, E. Sometimes you can hear it pronounced really loud that it's E or E, and sometimes it's harder to hear. But either way, it's still E and E. So this vowel may be written in 2 different ways. It can be as a dot under the consonant, as shown as Beit Kirik, or it can be shown followed by the yod, Beit Kirik Yod. All right, so let's go ahead and read the following lines in the Hebrew. Let's go ahead and do the entire first row of number 1. And we can do this together, and we're going to do it slowly so we can make sure everybody hears the sound, okay? First one, E. Second one, E. Third, B. Fourth, B. So make sure you go B, B, E, E. So we're going to prolong those with the yods, okay? Next one, V, V. Next one, G, G. Next one, D, D. Okay, you guys did very well. You want to do that one more time, or you got it? One more time? Okay. All right, we'll just go E, E, B, B, V, V, G, G, D, D. Okay, remember on the gimel, it's a G sound. G, 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 G. It's not a J, it's not that hard J, it's a G, okay? All right, now on line 2, let's go ahead and do that together. We have D, Da, V, B, Ga, B, E, A, E, D, Va. Okay, shall we do that one more time? Okay, let's do it one more time. D, Da, V, B, Ga, Gi, E, A, Gi, D, Va. Very good. Okay, now on page 10, again, I'm going to reiterate that dots in the Hebrew letters. Dots often appear in Hebrew letters. Most letters are pronounced the same, whether they do or do not have the dot in them. So like our tav, whether you put the dagesh in it or not, it's still going to hold the same sound and the same value. So here we have the first one with the dagesh in the tav, with the patak and tav, so it's tat. Because it's one vowel marking, it's one syllable, tat. And then that is the same thing as the tav without the dagesh, with the patak and the tav, still same sound, same value, tat. Same sound, tat and tat. Got it? Okay. And then on, huh? There is a purpose. But we'll learn the purpose more later on down the road. Sometimes that dagesh shows that it is the beginning of what that root is. So because every word has a 3-letter root to it, Whether it has, like in English, I'll just say suffixes and prefixes. You have beginnings and endings of Hebrew words that make it either present tense, past tense, feminine, masculine, singular, plural. There's huh? Does not matter. We're just getting, so you know that that does not change the sound at all. Okay? So when you see it in the Tav, you see it in the Dalet, or you see it in the Gimel, sound does not change. Okay? But there are several Hebrew letters that when the dot is there, it does change the sound. Okay. Right now it does not. We'll keep it easy on you right now, okay? All right, so on the next one we have our Gimel, Kametz, and a Tav. So we would say got, because regardless of that dagesh, it still says g, a, t. And sometimes we have to sound things out. We know that we read from the top to the bottom, and we move to our left, so we say g, a, t, which it's okay to sound out your words, but when you go to read a word, we don't want to say k, a, t. We just want to say cat, okay? So in this case here, we don't want to say g, a, t. It's one vowel, one syllable. We're just going to say got. Got it? Tov meo, yofe. All right, so we have got with the dagesh and got without a dagesh. Any questions? All righty. So 3 Hebrew letters are pronounced differently when they have a dot in them. You have already learned one of these letters, and that is the bait. B as in boy, or we have it without the dagesh, veit, v as in vine. So below is the chart on showing how to write the Hebrew letters in this lesson. So go ahead and practice them. Print, block, script. You're going to be reading, so that way you see the printed way. You're going to practice writing them in the block and writing them in script. So continue forward with that at your leisure. But don't forget to do it, because it is a very important part of the learning process, because it's one of those learning processes. You can see it, you can feel it, you can do it, okay? So you learn the letter Yod in this lesson as part of a vowel. It is also has other uses, which you will learn later. So on 11 in that exercise, you will write one line of each new letter and the old letter, since we did 2 lessons in one. You'll write all your vowel markings with all the consonants with all the vowel markings throughout it, and practice each one, because when we practice, when you're given assignments like this and you practice each assignment, you want to start off practicing them and do them as much as you can. Whenever you have a few minutes to do it, practice it here. Have a few more minutes, practice it there. You can't carry all your stuff with you. I know everybody here probably has a smartphone, right? Take a picture of it and just go over it in your head. Like if you're somewhere and you have 15 minutes, you're standing in line at the MVA and you're waiting, or it's DMV here, sorry, DMV, and you have a few minutes, just look through it and go through it. You can practice writing it. There are apps that are free that you can download on your phone that can help you write it by running your finger over it. That's always a good option to do as well. And so go ahead and practice that, and that way you can see it, you can feel it. And if you want, bake it. Bake a cake and cut out that shape. And then you have fun eating it. And don't forget to reward yourself with that, okay? All right, number 2, it says pronounce the letters in each line and circle the letters in each line that are the same as the letter in the box. So right now, at this time, we have only one letter that has that sound. Later on, as we continue forward, you will find that some letters have the same sound as other letters. And there's a reason for it. We might not always know it, but there is. So just keep that in mind. All right, turning to page 12, you will have Number 3, in each of the lines below, you have pairs, so you will match them up, and that's with the block and with the print. And then lesson 4, on page 13, 5. On 5, it says, in the line below, taken from the beginning of the Kaddish prayer. So you want to circle all the letters that you have learned so far. So with that, if you want to expand, again, like I said, you can take this as far or as short as you want. I hope you go further with it. If you have a Hebrew Bible that has Hebrew writing in it, pick out a passage and write down the Hebrew letters that you know. In this case here, it says to circle the Hebrew letters you know. I would say don't do that to the Siddur book, but you can look through the Siddur book and point out with your finger which letters you know, but I would not write in it or circle the letters, okay? Oh, and also, if you would like, the Siddur books, you can purchase a Siddur book for yourself, so then that way you can take it home and practice with it as well. So that's up to you. You can see Pat on that one, right?
No, they
No?
order one online themselves.
Oh, okay. No, we don't have them, but you can order it online yourself. Yeah.
Is there a place online? Yeah, it's Jeremiah paper. Well, I guess it's not Jeremiah anymore.
Is this information still good or no?
I think the address and the phone number is, but it's not Jeremiah anymore. I don't remember. Do you remember, Dan?
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's,
But, yeah, they can just go online or just call and somebody will probably give you a message.
Okay. So you can look at the information inside our Siddur and you can order your own. Okay. All right, and then we get to also have fun with our Hebrew letters. On number 6, it says, write the Hebrew vowel and consonant combinations that sound like the following English letters. So now you're going to make up your own writing. So for example, beat. How would you write beat in Hebrew? B-eat. Would you like to take a stab at it? That letter looks like a chet. So you would say, so if I were to read that, it would say, bich.
Should have been like that. All right, I'm always so overzealous. Okay, next people, sorry.
Incorrect.
That's still wrong.
Yeah.
I gotta practice.
Look at your tav. It's the very last letter. See, that's why it's so important to write the, because you wrote bich, B-E-C-H, bich, with a bait, a patak. It is similar. Yeah, so that's why it's very important, because you take off a little piece of the letter, you've changed the whole word. But you know what, I will tell you, I tell all my students this whenever I've ever taught. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because if you never make a mistake, you're never going to learn anything. We learn from our mistakes, and it's okay. Sue? Very good. Beit, chirik, yud, taf. Yod. Yeah. Very good. All right, so you can spell it with a yod, or you can spell it without the yod. It still spells the same thing. So have fun writing out beat, tot, t, she, tv, sheet, tot, and all those words. And if you would like, you can even make up your own sentence. Say, write a message to your spouse or to your child in Hebrew letters that you've learned, a message in Hebrew being English words like beet. Cook the beets for me, please, or something. So like just throw in Hebrew letters wherever. And that's another tool you can use to help learn things. All right, now on page 14, the book also gets into words from our tradition. So in each lesson, we will give you translations of several words that you have read in the final exercise. You do not need to learn these words, although you may recognize some of them. They are included for you for your enjoyment and your interest. So would someone like to read these words? Okay, I'll go ahead and read that. So the first word, and I'll be reading right to left, top to bottom. So the first one, we have a sheen, patak, beit, kirik, and a tav. So if we were, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Kamates. Okay, so the sheen, huh? Yeah. Sheen is sh. Our patak is ah. Our beit is b. Our kiri or kamates is ah, and our tav is t. So putting that together, Shabbat. So you have our very first Hebrew word, Shabbat. We're on page 14. And I'm reading from right to left in the Hebrew, top to bottom. Okay? So, you see that, Bill? Shabbat. That's how you say it in Hebrew. We have our sheen. So if we sound it out, sh, with our patak, ah, sha, our beit, b, our kamates, ah, and our tav, t, Shabbat. Okay? And then we have beit, kamates, and aleph. So we have ba. Ba means comes. Then we have aleph, kamates, and vav, av, father. And then we have aleph. Here's our kirik, yod, sheen, ish, man. And we have aleph, kamates, veit, kirik, yod. We have avi, my father. So you see the word av in avi. You see father in my father. So the different changes is just a vowel marking on that. So when you're writing the word avi or av without any vowel markings, how do you know which one means father and which one means my father? How do you think you would know? Very good, from the yod. So we have av and avi. And then we have beit, patak, tav, bat, daughter. So learning hints and suggestions, we suggest that you use flashcards while learning Hebrew letters and vowels. I do have a handout. Well, I don't have a handout, but I do have a paper if anybody would like the handout. It has the Hebrew letters, 2 sets of them, where you can cut them out and make flashcards and do a memory card type thing. You could do that, or you can make your own, or however you want to do that. There's also different tools that can help you from EKS Publishing. You can go online and order different tools. They have CDs, they have flashcards, different things, or you can make your own. Write the letters and the vowels that you have learned on index cards, and as you learn new letters and vowels, make flashcards for them too. Flashcards can be used in a number of ways. And then here's some suggestions down there. It says, see how many combinations of letters and vowels you can create and read each one. Work with another person making combinations and asking one another to read them. See how many English words you can create with the letters and vowels that you have learned. So Hebrew letters sometimes have dots in the middle, but there are only a few cases in which the dot changes the letter pronunciation. So we have learned some of them, and as we learn more, we will continue forward with that. Okay, now for the last half, just for today, if you have any questions, we'll go over questions first, and then we can practice the sounds of the letters if you'd like. Yes, Rabbi?
Yeah, if you can go back to page 9.
Okay.
Up on the top there, when we were looking at
Mm-hmm.
You had said that the aleph was unpronounceable, not pronounced.
In this case, we don't hear it. Yes.
Right, you don't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Not pronounced, don't hear it. But the vowel is pronounced.
Yes.
So, if the first word, if you hear it as odd, because we're pronouncing the vowel,
Mm-hmm.
the second word, why isn't that osh? Because we're still pronouncing the vowel. Why is it just sha? Because we're still pronouncing the vowel.
Because the order in which you would speak it, you speak the first consonant, and then the first consonant, which is the sheen.
You always speak the first consonant without the vowel above.
When we read Hebrew, we read consonant, vowel, then we move to the left, consonant, vowel. However, like I said before, sometimes the consonant is found at the bottom of the letter. Sometimes it's found on the left side of the letter. Sometimes it's up on the top of the letter. So we'll learn where they are, but you always read right to left. So because the sheen is first, we say sh, ah. That's why it sounds like that. If we were reading left to right, it would be ash.
So
But-
we wouldn't say sha. We
No.
would say
Shah,
sha.
correct.
That's sha.
Because it's one vowel, one
Okay.
syllable.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do you know when it's an A versus an O? I can understand designations, but why is one an O?
Actually, it's still the same sound, but in their English translit, they change it. That's why I have such a hard time reading English translit. Just give me the Hebrew, I can read that.
So the A and the O are the same sound.
Odd, yeah, odd, ash, yeah, or shah, still same sound. Any other questions? Okay, on page. Okay, so Father,
There's the little T at the bottom, so that would be an and a V.
Av is Father, Avi is my Father.
It's like one French, but it doesn't translate. The letters don't make father, the sounds, but that's the translation. Is that right?
Well, here we have the addition of the yod. It changes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, we're not writing out the letters to spell father. This is the way sound.
That is my Father. That is my Father.
Did you see the vowel thing here? Yeah, that's where the vowel is.
Also on that handout I gave you, on the handy Hebrew alphabet, it has our Sephardic pronunciations. It has the name of the letter. It has it in block. It has it in print, and it has it in script. It has the numerical value, and it has how it sounded on there, and all the vowels and the names. So that'll help you with pronunciation and stuff. Did I answer your question? Okay, so if you took away those vowels, the yod would still be there for my Father. So that's how you would know the difference between my Father and Father, Av, Avi. Any other, yes, Ms. Shaw?
On page 7, would it be possible, I know some of us are still beginners, but I still feel like I'm backwards beginner because I'm looking at all of this thinking, 30 years ago, and I'm just starting all over again, and it's very humbling. So, could we all read number 5 together,
Yes, we can.
page 7?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I hear everybody else pronouncing it around me, including you, then I might be able to get it in my, in this time.
Okay, first I'll walk through it, and then we'll read it together, okay?
Yeah, if I read every line, every word in every line.
Okay, so you had the question on 5 first. Did you want me to start with 1
I don't
then?
know how much time it's gonna take, but if we just read like 1 through 8, that shouldn't be more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, we still have 30 minutes to go. Okay, so
We're doing all the lines, or just line 5?
I'm going to start at line 1
Line 1.
to explain some things as we go through first to help her as a beginner, and then I know it'll seem redundant but we'll get it. So on line 1, the first group is just a sheen. So you would just say its sound. It would just say shh. There's no vowel marking, so it's just shh. It's not sha, it's not she, it's not shoo. It's just the shh sound. And so we're going to stop at shh, nothing else. Because I know sometimes we'll get in a hurry and then we'll go sha, sh. It's not sha, it's just shh. So everybody just do that. Shh. Very good. Now the next letter, we have our sheen with the patak underneath, just a small little line. That sheen says shh. The patak says ah, and we put them together to say sha. Okay, and then the next one, we have 2 consonants and 2 vowels. So how many syllables do we have there? 2 syllables, very good. So we have our sheen that says shh. Here we have a kametz that says ah. Then we have a sheen that says shh. And then our patak that says ah. And then we put them all together. It's 2 vowels, 2 syllables. So we have sha, sha. And say a little faster, sha, sha. Okay?
You think if we had like a slow rhythm, so everybody's doing it at the same time, it would help everybody with the pronunciation?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if everybody understands doing that, because I know before I had one, I didn't know. So we'll just say it together like this. Okay, so the next group, we have 2 consonants with 1 vowel marking. So how many syllables? Just 1. Because we have 2 consonants with 1 vowel marking, we have one syllable. Okay, so we have our sheen with our patak with the bait. So we'll just say the sounds of the sheen is shh, patak is ah, bait is b. So we got shab. Okay, shab, shab. Okay? All right, the next one, we have 2 consonants with 2 vowels. So we have our sheen, sh, patak, ah, tav, t, patak, ah. So we're just going to say them each sound apart, sh, ah, t, ah. Now we're going to go together, sha, ta, and then totally together, shata. Yes, it should be.
You've completely lost me. What line are you on?
Still on line 1. It's the second to last group of letters, the sheen, patak, tav.
Well, if we just did it one after another, then I would remember the line. That's what we got. Okay, that's fine. It's too much talking.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right, so again, that's the sheen, patak, tav, patak, shatha. So it's going to be 2 syllables because it's 2 vowels, and that has a total of 2 consonants, 2 vowels, 2 syllables. Now, the last one on line 1 is our sheen with a kametz and a bait with the patak. So just the sheen sound says shh, kametz says ah, bait says b, patak says ah. So we're going to say just the first consonant vowel, then the second consonant vowel. Sha, ba. Now we're going to put them together, sha, ba. And then a little faster, shaba. Okay? So whenever you see letters or consonants that are together like that, that means that it's a single word. In this case, it's not a word, it's just putting sounds together. But when you would read it, you would, if you were to read this line as if you were reading as if they were words, you would say sha, sha'a, shasha, shab, shata, shaba. You wouldn't go sh, sh, ah, sh, ah, sh, ah, sh, ah, b, sh, ah, t, ah, sh, ah, b, ah. Okay? So make sure that when you're reading, you can look ahead, or even if you need to put it in your head first and then say it, it's better to do that than it would be to split it up. Because when we split it up, then we've changed the whole meaning of the word. Okay? All right, are we ready for line 2? Yeah? Okay, continue like I did before? Yes? Okay. All right, so the first one, we just have the bait, and it just says b. Okay? It doesn't say b, it doesn't say ba, it doesn't say boo. It just says b. Okay? So b. The next one has a patak underneath, so the bait sound is b, and the patak sound is ah, so we have ba. The next one we have 2 vowel markings. Again, 2 vowel markings means 2, how many syllables? 2, I just gave it away. 2 what? 2 syllables. All right, so we have our bait, kametz, bait, patak. So just the sounds of the bait, b, kametz, ah, or I said that wrong, kiri. No, I said it right. Okay, kametz. Our bait, b, and then patak, ah. So together, just the first consonant vowel and then the second consonant vowel. Ba, ba. Then we're going to put it together all for one word. Ba, ba. Are you thirsty? All right, the next grouping. We have our bait with our patak and our sheen. So we only have 1 vowel marking here. So how many syllables? Very good. So just the sound of the first consonant is consonant, yes?
Just a question on the, why does it have both the same, why is there little t versus line?
Because of pa'al,
Exactly the same thing.
because of pa'al, pl, heat pa'al, and all of that. Those are verb forms. They're tenses is what they are. And just like I said before, it's the difference of me talking to you or me talking to you, okay? Or me, huh? PL is stronger than Pa'al, but we're not teaching that in this class. And as well as it gets even stronger. And so with that, it changes the meaning. Because you can say, oh, he went to go talk to so-and-so, and then they went and worked it out after a couple of, but how you said it sounds like, oh, they just went talking, or it's, oh, they really went at it. Yes? Hmm? I don't have that accent. I don't need it right now. But if I ever went somewhere, yes, that would be nice, but not at this point. But thank you. But if you want to get that, if you're planning on traveling, it would be a great travel companion.
There's a tool through Azure and programming.
Yeah.
Language translation. And it's actually really easy to subscribe to. So I can make a little website page, you push a button, and then it'll translate it.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay, we'll go back to the class here. So we're on Bosh. Okay, so we're at the bait. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4th grouping on line 2 with the bait, patak, and the sheen. So the sound of the bait is b, patak is ah, sheen is sh. Okay, so we put just the bait and patak is ba, and then we have our sheen, sh. Now put it together, bosh. Very good, bosh. Okay, the next grouping is our bait, patak, tav, patak. So our bait is b, patak is ah, tav is t, and patak is ah. So the first bait and patak is ba, And then our tav and patak is ta, and we put them together, bata, bata, okay? Because it's two vowels, two syllables, bata, okay? But still all one word, so we're not going to go ba-ta, we're going to go bata. All right, then the second to last grouping of letters on line 2, we have our bait with our kamets, and our sheen with our patak. Okay, so we have bait patak, or bait kamets, ba, sheen patak, sha, put them together, ba sha. Very good. Okay, then on the last one on line 2, you guys are getting so good. I'll just say the name of the letter, you say the sound, and the name of the vowel, you say the sound, and then we'll put them together, okay? All right, bait, patak, tav, kamets, bait patak, ba, bait patak is ba, tav, kamets, ta. Now all together. Very good, bata. Tov me'od. Okay, line 3. Tov me'od means very good, okay? All right, line 3, we have our letter that its name is tav. Okay, so that is our tav, and it says t, t. Okay, and the next one we have our tav with the patak, and it says ta. Okay, so that one is ta. And then we have our tav with our kamets and tav with the patak, and so it's 2 syllables here because we have how many vowels? 2 vowels. So we have ta, ta. And we put together ta-ta. Ta-ta. All right, and then the next grouping, we have our tav with the patak and our sheen. So we have all together tash. Very good. Then the next one, we have our tav with the patak, sheen with patak. The first set of tav and patak is ta, and our sheen with the patak is sha, and we put them together, tasha. Tasha. Tasha.
Are these words?
Some are and some are not. Okay? And some are just sound like words. All right, our next grouping is our tash with the kamets, bait with patak. So tav with kamets is ta, bait with patak is ba, and together we have taba, taba. Then the last one on line 3 is our tav with the kamets, sheen with the kamets. So tav with kamets says ta, sheen with the kamets says sha, and together we have tasha. Sounds like a little girl's name, right? Tasha. All right, now line 4. Line 4, we have 1 vowel marking, so it's how many syllables? 1. All right, we have a sheen with patak, and that sound says sha. And then we have our bait that says b, just a b. So we put them together, shop, shab. Okay, and then the next grouping is our tav with patak and our bait. Tav says t, patak says ah, bait says b. We're putting them together, tab. Okay, and then we have our bait with the patak and our bait. And so bait says b, patak says ah, bait says b. Put them all together, bob. Bob. Okay, you see, bob. Okay, and then we have our next grouping of a sheen with kamets. Our sheen says sh, kamet says ah. Together they say sha. Then we have our tav at the end that says t. And we put them all together, it says shot. Okay? 1 vowel, 1 syllable, shot. Then our next grouping, we have a bait that says b, our patak that says ah, and our tav that says t. So together we say bat. Very good, bat. I paused. You guys did great. Thank you. All right, and on that last one, on line 4, we have our tav that says t, our patak that says ah, and our tav that says t, and together it says very good. Line 5. Cheryl, are you doing good? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll talk later.
Okay. If I do this, maybe she can hear me better.
That's worse.
Oh, that's worse?
It's like 3 different sound systems all of a sudden.
I was trying.
No, I can hear you fine.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, now on line 5, hey, that works better wherever it went. All right, so line 5, we have our sheen that says shh, our kametz that says ah, our bait that says b, our patak that says ah. Okay, just saying the first consonant with vowel, and then consonant with vowel. So consonant vowel, sheen with kametz is sha. Our bait with patak says ba. Put them together, it says shaba. You think that's working up to something? Shaba. It's leaving you hanging, isn't it? All right, and then our next grouping, we have a bait with a kametz, and that says ba, and our sheen with a patak that says sha, and together they say basha. Okay, 2 vowels, 2 syllables, basha. Okay, the next one is our sheen with the kametz that says sha, and our tav with a patak that says ta, and together it says sha-ta, or shata. Okay, then we have our next group says tav with the kametz says ta, and our sheen says sh, and together it says tash. And then the next group is our bait with our kametz that says ba, and our tav with a patak that says ta, and together it says bata. And then our last group of letters on line 5 is our tav with a kametz that says ta, our bait with patak that says ba, and together it says taba. Now on line 6, they're going to give you 3 consonants. Okay, and on that first grouping, how many vowel markings do we have? 2 vowel markings, so how many syllables is that? Very good. Still only 2 syllables, even though it has 3 consonants. So the first consonant is a sheen. It says sh. And then our kametz, it says ah. And then together it says sha. The next one says sheen with a patak that says sha. And then we have a bait that says b. Okay, so we go sha, sha, b. But now we're going to put it all together, go sha, shab. Shashab. Very good. All right, the next grouping is bait with a kametz, sheen with a patak, and bait. So the first consonant vowel says ba, and then the consonant vowel consonant, we're going to put all 3 of those together. We're going to go shab. Now we're going to go bashab all together, bashab. Okay, the next grouping is our tav with the kametz, sheen with patak, and our bait. So tav with the kametz says ta, sheen, patak, and bait says shab, putting all together to shab. Again, one more time, to shab. All right, and then our next grouping, we have a sheen with a kametz, sheen with a patak, and a tav. And so sheen with a kametz says sha, sheen with a patak and a tav says shat, and putting them together, shatat. Shashat, I'm sorry, I said that wrong, shashat. Okay, and then the last one says, sheen with the patak says sha, bait with the kametz says ba, putting them together says shaba. On line 7, again, we're going to continue with 3 consonants, 2 vowel markings. We have bait with a kametz that says ba, bait with patak and a sheen that says bash. Putting them together says bashash, or babash. Excuse me, I need a drink of water.
Can we do it reverse for once, like where you just make the noise and we'll say the letter? Because I wanted to practice saying the letter. Like you'll go buh and we'll go beep. You go and we'll go top.
Yeah.
Say the word, we repeat it after you.
Well, I wanted to read.
You're explaining all the names of the letters and all the names of the vowels. We don't know, we don't need to know all the names of everything. No.
Sorry.
Yeah, we just want to hear the sounds and repeat it after you. Like you say it, then we say it, then you say it, then we say it.
Okay, well, what we'll do is, Bill, why don't you, on line 6, why don't you tell me what consonant and vowel markings those are? Because that will help you with your pronunciation.
The shin?
A sheen?
Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
Next week practice saying it. The commits.
Correct?
The sheen.
Mm-hmm.
The top.
Mm-hmm.
The bait.
Correct.
The bait. The commits. And they said it like.
Oh, well, we're sticking with that first grouping there. Okay, so you're good? Okay. All right, so the sheen with batak says shah, and our sheen with a, I said that wrong, didn't I? Sheen with kamait says shah, and then, so we're on the first grouping of line 6, the first grouping, okay? So we have shah, and then our sheen with the patak and our bait says shab, and putting them together we have shashab. Okay, and then the second grouping, we have our bait with the kamates, which says ba, and then we have sheen with patak and a bait that says shab, and we're putting them together, we have bashab. Our next grouping, we have a tav with a kamates that says ta, our sheen with patak and a bait that says shab. So we put them together, it says tashab. Next grouping, we have a sheen with the kamates that says shah, sheen with patak and a tav that says shat, and we put them together, it says shashat. And then the last one on line 6, it says sheen with a patak that says shah, or bait with a kametz that says ba, and together it says shabah. Okay? Line 7. All right, we have, again, still 3 consonants and 2 vowel markings. Okay? All right, do you guys want to say the sounds, say the word first, or, okay, so go ahead and say the grouping of the first 3 consonants and the vowel markings. I didn't hear some of you.
I think what Bill's trying to ask is you say the word, and we say the word, and you say the word, and we say
I've
the word.
answered Bill. He's got it.
Bill, yeah.
No, I've answered Bill. He's got it.
Yeah.
No, I was waiting to hear from other people saying it. I didn't hear you too.
And if we all say it together, then we're all saying it together with the same pronunciation.
I get what you're saying, Cheryl.
Babash.
Are you guys just going to smile at me, or are you going to? Am I going to hear from
You
you?
have to have some kind of a cue.
Miss Cheryl, it's not that. It's okay.
What's babash mean? Is that like joy?
Have no clue. It's just consonants and vowels put together to practice. But if you want to say joy, then you can have joy. In your own world, you can make anything up. All right, so
Just calling somebody, pronounce a word, and then let everybody, 'cause you won't know if they go yell it out, who's got it right, who's got it wrong.
we'll do that one, okay? So you guys can answer too. How's that? Noah, would you like to do the first one? We're on line 7, the second grouping of letters. Oh, it's okay. Very good. Okay. I'll take that as you doing that, Noah. And you can have the next one, Tammy. Tabash, very good. Jim? Very good. Rabbi, last one on row 7.
I'm sorry, the last on row 7?
Correct.
5.
Correct. Miss Pat, first one on row 8. Very good. All right, Bill, would you like to do the second one on row 8?
Oh, the bait and the top and the top.
Very good.
So, not
Tov Meod. Okay, Miss Cheryl, the third grouping of letters on row 8.
Shabbat.
Very good. Rachel, the fourth grouping of letters on row 8. Very good. Steve? Shabbat. You guys are lucky. I ran out of rows. Oh, but we can start over from row 1. All right, actually we only have 4 more minutes, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. I know practicing our Hebrew takes time. So, and that was like 30 minutes of practice. If you give 30 minutes of practice into your Hebrew of reading every day, you will be able to read. Yes?
You had mentioned earlier that the page that has the letters with the block print doesn't really show the relationship of the sizes. Some of them go below, some of them above. So I noticed that, to really get a better idea, like the line that goes above,
Mm-hmm.
if you look in the book, it'll show you the relationship between the letter sizes. You know, if you want to go ahead or something, try to
Mm-hmm.
look how it's written in the book, and it'll show which ones go above and which ones go below.
Okay, I do encourage that you go ahead in your book, as you read ahead, look ahead, read everything. If you can do something, go ahead. Like I said, the answers are in the book. So if you have questions, you can look at the answers, write down your questions, bring them the next week. We can go ahead and do that. Okay? Any other questions? No? Okay, you're dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I look forward to seeing anything that you guys have of artwork, if you're doing something fancy with your letters or something.